Hello students, welcome to the class of Understanding the Literature. In today's session, we are going to discuss a poem. It is a short poem, but it is one of the most celebrated poems in the world. And this poem is written by one of the most celebrated poet and writer from India. Friends, 19th century and the first half of the 20th century. This is a long period of 150 years. And this period is known as a colonial period in the Indian history. It is a colonial period because British were the rulers and Indians were the subjects. In the other words, Britain was ruling on India. This is the period, you can say it is a dark period so far as India was concerned. This is the period when India was politically slave. This is the period when India was economically backward. India was socially disturbed. This is the period when we saw ups and downs in the field of religion. In other words, we can say this period in India, it was a period of anxiety, it was a period of anger, it was a period of protest. And in this period, we can say India was trying to gain her personality. This is the important years in the history of India. You can see India, so far as India was concerned, this was a dark age. But in this dark age, there were some brightest stars shining in the Indian sky. And those stars were some of the great personalities India had ever produced. For example, in the field of politics, we had the great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Lokmanya Tilak, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and Bhagat Singh. In the field of social reforms, we had the great leaders like Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and Raja Rao Mohan Roy. In the field of religion, we had some great leaders. Some of them were Sri Aurobindo, Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Parahans, and Dayananda Saraswati. And in the field of science, we had the great scientists like J.C. Bose, Jagdish Chandra Bose, and C.V. Raman. In the field of arts and literature, we had the great personalities like Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and Raja Ravi Verma. Along with this great personality, there was a personality. This personality was you can say that personality was a kind of a representative of Indian civilization and Indian culture. He was not only the representative, he was not only the ambassador of Indian culture and civilization and literature, but he was the ambassador of all the Asian Oriental wisdom. And this personality was no other than Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore is one of the greatest authors India had ever produced. He wrote in Bengali, then his literature was translated into English. And in today's session, we are going to discuss one of the most beautiful poem written by Rabindranath Tagore. And the title of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. Rabindranath Tagore was one of the greatest personality from India. He born on 7th May 1861 in Kolkata. He died on 7th August 1941 at Thakurbadi in Kolkata. He was known as Gurudev. It was Mahatma Gandhi who first called him as Gurudev. Rabindranath was founder of Shantiniketan. He was a poet and philosopher. He was an educationalist and a painter. He was a freedom fighter and musician. Rabindranath was a dramatist and an actor. He was an orator and he was a social reformer also. Rabindranath is world famous for his poetry. Gitanjali is a collection of his poetry. It is world famous poetic anthology. For Gitanjali, Rabindranath Tagore won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. He was a writer of poetry. He wrote numbers of the poems. He wrote hundreds of the songs. At the same time, he wrote some of the excellent short stories in Bengali. He was a great novelist and he wrote the novels, he wrote the dramas. Rabindranath Tagore wrote several essays on various subjects. Along with poetry, short story and novels and drama, Rabindranath Tagore wrote some of the excellent books for the children. Even he wrote the textbooks for them. He visited number of the countries in the world, and wherever he went, he delivered the lectures on the various subjects, and those lectures were recorded as the essays. Rabindranath Tagore was a versatile personality. He not only contributed in the field of literature, but he contributed in the field of music, painting, and acting as well. He developed his own Rabindra Sangeet. Rabindra Sangeet is the music and song that is based on the Indian classical music and traditional folk music. In his latter period of his life, he learnt how to paint and he painted some excellent world famous paintings. He was also a very good actor and a director. He acted in several dramas and he directed some of his plays also. The poem we are going to discuss today is Where the Mind is Without Fear. I would like to read the poem first. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not broken up into the fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. This is the poem that we have to discuss today. The title of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. Actually, this is a short poem. It is a poem of only 8 lines. But it is a marvelous prayer. This poem is taken from Gitanjali. Gitanjali is a poetic anthology of Rabindranath Tagore. Basically, all the poems in Gitanjali were written in Bengali. This poem is also originally written in Bengali under the title Chitto Jetha Bhayoshunya Uchcho Jetha Shir. This is the poem which is taken from the world-renowned poetic anthology Gitanjali. Gitanjali is the collection of devotional poetry. It means the songs and poems in this collection are devotional songs. Devotional poetry means the poetry which expresses love for God. Devotional poetry is about the God and his devotee. In India, there is a big and long tradition of devotional poetry. We had several saints in medieval age. Sant Dnyaneshwar, Sant Tukaram, Mirabai, Kabir, Tiruvalluvar. These are some poets saints in India, and they wrote the excellent Bhakti Geet. These Bhakti Geets are nothing but the devotional poetry. Even the Sufi songs by Sufi fakirs are also the devotional poetry. But this poem is not only a devotional poem. This is a patriotic song as well. A patriotic song is a song in which the love for nation and country is expressed. At the same time, Where the Mind is Without Fear is a song of humanity. A song in which a love for human being is expressed, that song is the song of humanity. In the other words, we can say, this poem is a devotional, patriotic and humanitarian poem. This is a simple but wonderful poem in which the poet prays God. He prays God to make his country free. He prays God to make his people free from narrowness, boundaries of caste and religion, and darkness of ignorance. Means the poet is praying God for the welfare of all the people in his country. Now let us discuss this poem line by line. Where the mind is without fear and head is held high. This is the first line of the poem. The poet prays, poet begs God. He wishes that the mind of the people in his country should become fearless. There are two types of fears. One is external fear. It comes from our enemy. But we can easily overcome it. The second fear is an internal fear. This fear comes from our wrong deeds. A man will be without fear when his deeds and thoughts will be pure. A man who does good work and man who thinks good, his head will be naturally held high. It means there will be no shame. The man will be proud of his thoughts, words, and deeds. The second line is, where knowledge is free. Here the poet prays God and he wishes that knowledge should be free. Knowledge is useful to make a man free from ignorance, poverty, and slavery. It means if there is no knowledge, the man will be ignorant. He will be poor and he will become the slave. In India, the poet sees ignorance because people get no knowledge because of poverty, caste system, superstitions, and because of so many customs and traditions. So the poet wishes that everyone should be able to get knowledge. The knowledge should be free from any restriction of religion, law, and belief. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. This is the third line in the poem. This is important and significant line. Here the poet expresses the wish that the all human beings should be free. The world should not be divided into castes, religions, races, classes, and languages. Actually, the human beings in India are divided into caste, religions, races, etc. They are divided as poor and rich. Actually, caste, religion, race, colors are the narrow walls. These walls are the domestic because they are created by Indians for the Indians. Our society is divided means it is fragmented. It is divided into the pieces. And the poet wishes that a society should be undivided. The society should be united. Only united society can progress and develop. Where words come out from the depth of truth. This is the fourth line in the poem. Rabindranath Tagore believes in truth as Mahatma Gandhi ji. The foundation or basis of his philosophy is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. He believes that truth is a virtue and it is the principle that makes human life beautiful and pure. Without truth, the words have no value. Without truth, the words are meaningless. Only truth can make human life beautiful and pure. So Tagore wishes that the utterances of people should come from the heart of truth. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. This is the fifth line in the poem. The poet wants that the people in the country should have the ambition and desire for perfection. The perfection is possible only when there will be the motivation. He imagines the nation where the people are motivated and inspired. The people are motivated and inspired to do hard work and try to achieve perfection. Means the motivation and inspiration, and why it is required to do the hard work and to achieve the perfection. Perhaps he wants to glorify. Perhaps he wants to admire the work. No work is small or weak. No work is higher or lower. It is only the motivation and perfection that make that work great. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. This is the sixth line in the poem. This line looks little difficult. According to poet, reason and thought, these are essential. The thoughts and thinking capacity is no doubt are important for the development of man, development of society, and development of nation. But that is not all enough. Reason without sympathy, reason without emotion, reason without compassion, reason without empathy cannot do any good to the humanity. Without emotion and compassion, the thoughts are like the dry desert and our deeds are like mechanical habits. Means our thoughts and emotions, reason and sympathy, they should be united. According to the poet, there should be proper balance between the reason and emotion. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. This is the seventh line in the poem. This line is a great appeal to God. He prays God to lead and guide to the human being so that his thoughts and action will grow and develop continuously. He prays God to make that our mind grow ceaselessly and non-stop. It means the mind of human being must develop continuously. Development is a sign of life. If there is no development, there is no life. Man can make his life meaningful only when he keeps on developing. Into that haven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. This is the last line in the poem. The poet very earnestly, from the bottom of his heart, prays God to awake his nation. Here, awakening means not waking up from sleep, but it is a waking up from the sleep of slavery. He prays God to free India from the slavery of British. He prays God to bless India with freedom. But this freedom will not merely the political freedom, but it will be the freedom of mind and soul. When there will be the freedom of mind and soul, then only the freedom will be heavenly. I would like to read this poem again. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where a tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that haven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. This is the shortest poem, but it is an appeal from the heart. In this poem, the poet prays God for his nation, for society, and for whole humanity. It is a simple lyrics. It is a prayer. It shows poet's love for his nation. It shows his love and sympathy for the people and humanity. This poem shows his faith in God. When someone begs God for the good of the other people, those words automatically and naturally become a prayer. And this poem, where the mind is without fear, is a wonderful prayer.